What is going on, guys? Dave from Wake Up It's Football, bringing you guys another draft profile. Today it is inside linebacker C.J. Mosley out of Alabama. Just make sure you look down at the date below. In the next 4 months, a lot of draft stock shifts and changes, so just keep that in mind. Now let's get right into C.J. Mosley here. Again, C.J. Mosley, inside linebacker out of Alabama, 6'2", 228 pounds, some collegiate stats. He has 290 total tackles in his collegiate career with 24 passes deflected, 5 interceptions, and 21 tackles for loss. A couple of other things you need to know about C.J. Mosley. He is the SEC Defensive Player of the Year for the year of 2013. He also won the Butkus Award in 2013, as well as a couple of BCS National Championships in 2012 and 2013. So C.J. Mosley is no stranger to knowing how to win some football games. Let's get into some pros and cons. First of all, his patience and recognition. That was one of the first things I noticed about him. He'll kind of bounce around, stand in place to wait and see how the quarterback is going to play his, to kind of develop the play, to see if the running back gets the handoff, to see if the running back, if he ends up getting the handoff, which direction the running back is going to go in. Also, when he was covering running backs in man-to-man, that was kind of, he played some of the shallower routes. He also did have some plays where he would drop back into coverage. That was one thing I did not put in his pros, is the fact that he actually can play some coverage at inside linebacker. But as for his patience and recognition, it was just absolutely phenomenal. I think he had, out of all the players I've watched so far, he had the best patience and recognition. He waits for the play to, I don't want to say develop, but he waits to see what the opposing, offensive players are going to do, and then he just absolutely attacks it and he dominates it. Now, for his high motor and his intensity that it brings forward to his defensive play, if there were ever times where his teammates struggled to bring a guy down, they were struggling, they needed help, C.J. Mosley was the next man up. C.J. Mosley was the next player there to bring that player down, which shows why he had so many assists in tackles, which is why he racked up so many tackles at Alabama. But also his high motor and intensity. He's very physical, very aggressive. He didn't really take any plays off. He was a guy that really brought every single play. He brought 120%. Now his pursuit, that goes hand in hand with his high motor. He would chase guys down the field, north, east, west, south. It didn't matter. He was all over the place. C.J. Mosley would blow up so many plays. Again, this goes back to sniffing plays out with his play recognition. So it really, all these aspects in his game go hand in hand. And now the final aspect is tackling. Can C.J. Mosley tackle? The answer to that question is yes. I never noticed a problem with him tackling, never noticed a problem with him wrapping up. So I mean, all around as a collective whole, C.J. Mosley has that total package as an inside linebacker, and it doesn't hurt that he can actually play some coverage. So, and also, to add the cherry on top, those 5 interceptions that I showed you earlier in his statistics, he has some ball handling skills. He can actually, when he drops back and he has a play on the ball, he will try to deflect passes, but he will also try and intercept passes, which, C.J. Mosley sounds like he's, the total package. Now, as for his cons, I know that there's not a lot of cons there that I listed, but the reason why is because I didn't feel as if there was one total weakness that I could point out in C.J. Mosley's game. There obviously has to be some weaknesses, there obviously has to be some cons, but I just couldn't kind of just identify them right away. Obviously this is going to come with me ranking these linebackers in the top 5 video that I do later down the line, but let's go into some of his injury history. C.J. Mosley missed 2 games in 2011, the Florida and Vanderbilt game, with a dislocated elbow. He also dislocated his hip in the BCS National Championship game that season. He returned to play all 14 games in 2012, but he underwent some right shoulder surgery following the 2012 season, which limited his participation in the 2013 spring practices. So if you want to question his durability, you want to question his injury history, that's fine, because a lot of scouts and a lot of GMs have to do that. They have to know what kind of player they're getting. But that's one of his biggest cons, I think, in C.J. Mosley. Now, draft projection, I think he's going to be a top 20 pick, more specifically in that 10 to 20 range. A lot of inside linebackers do not go in the top 10. Most notably, you'll remember Luke Kuechly went 9th overall to the Carolina Panthers in the 2012 draft. Last year, I don't think you saw an inside linebacker go in the top 10. And off the top of my head, I think Alec Ogletree was the first inside linebacker taken. He went 29th overall or 30th overall to the Rams. So I think C.J. Mosley's range has to be top 10 to top 20. Some teams of interest: Minnesota Vikings, New York Giants, Tennessee Titans, and the Green Bay Packers. I think all those teams might have some interest at inside linebacker. But if you guys have any comments, questions, concerns, throw those down all in the comments below about C.J. Mosley. I want to know what you guys think. But again, Dave from Wake Up It's Football with another draft profile.